is Walter Mosley, Bad Boy Brawly Brown. Can you see? I don't know if you can see or not. But anyway, I got a quick review, recap, some thoughts. I don't know if it's not a recap. It's just a review or some thoughts on it. It took me a long time to read it. I don't know if it was because I was in rehearsal for a show. I don't know if it was because I started doing YouTube videos. And so I think I started watching way more YouTube videos and also way more media. And it's almost like my mind got into watching mode and a talking mode, which is slightly different from a reading mode, I guess. I don't know. But it did take me a little while to get into it, and I was just reading a couple people's, I was reading some comments and reviews on the book, and some people said that, you know, the first 150 pages were hard to get into, but it was good. Now, I don't remember thinking that it was hard to get into in that sense. I just noticed that I didn't finish it immediately, because even though the book is a few hundred pages, it's almost 300 pages, most of his books are not hard to read. I think, again, the very first book that I read of his was the Ptolemy Gray, The Life of Ptolemy Gray or whatever. That book was like 800 pages, 1,000 pages, whatever. It wasn't hardback, so it might be less in paperback, but it was a big book. But it was a good read. I didn't feel like I was being harassed or anything, you know, or forced to read. Like, I wanted to read. And I like Walter Mosley's books. I haven't encountered one yet that I don't like. And I also am, I don't know if I'm in love with Easy Rawlins, but y'all, Easy Rawlins is 44 now, so he's almost getting up in age enough for me to be looking at him like a man instead of a little boy. And we've seen him grow up during the series. So I really am enjoying the Easy Rawlins series. I think this is book 6 or 7 in the series, and I started from the beginning and have been reading through. So in this episode, you know, of course, there is a murder. We're dealing with incest and molestation. We're dealing with the institutionalization of folks and the institutionalization of folks, because baby boy Jesus is like, I don't want to go to school no more, and it looks like we about to homeschool Jesus. Is that what's going on? We gonna homeschool Jesus? Walter Mosley, you homeschooling children now? I mean, not Walter Mosley, but Easy Rawlins, you homeschooling children now? And we also have the someone who is a free schooler, like an adult who just studies and learns and, you know, thinks on his own, you know, which we all do, but is very consciously, it seems, a student of learning and studying. He's a student of studiation. Mouse is dead. I don't think he's dead. Look, I was gonna say, I don't think he's dead in real life, but he's dead in the series as far as Easy is concerned. But somehow, I don't know if it was through a short story or something, but somehow I'm of the impression that Mouse is not dead. And even in the book, there's one point where it's like, you know, Etta Mae didn't have a funeral for Mouse. Ain't nobody seen his body. I mean, is he really dead? And I'm like, I didn't think Mouse was dead. I thought for some reason there was a time when Easy thought he was dead and he wasn't dead. So, but anyway, Mouse is dead. And so in this book, especially in the beginning, is very heavy with mourning. And so I don't know if it was that, you know, that lethargy, that heaviness, that, you know, sort of slow moving through pain that we experience with people feeling like the book was slow. And also I read that from the last book in the series to this book in the series, there was a 6-year gap. Now, I don't know if there was a 6-year gap in the writing of Walter Mosley, because for some reason I've created this story that every 6 months Walter Mosley is publishing a book. So maybe he went on to something else, you know, I don't know. And I had also heard, I think I mentioned the last time we talked about a Walter Mosley book, that not an that the last time we talked about Easy Rawlings and Walter Mosley, that Walter Mosley had tried to stop the Easy Rawlings series, and people were like, no. So maybe he had tried to stop the series now, and the people protested. Maybe this is the first ending of the series. I don't know, but anyway, or maybe he just wanted to do something different. And maybe he did something different, because a lot of the books that I've read of his, outside of this series, they're different. When we're dealing with institutionalized aggression and racism as well. So that whole theme of 52 years of celebrating Malcolm, that's what's going on at the Wright Museum today. I don't know, y'all. So we talked about the fact that Jesus wants to drop out of school and wants to build a boat. And it seems like at the end of the book, basically Walter Mosley is like, not Walter Mosley, but Easy. Look, I got them all confused. But Easy is like, look, you can do that, but you're going to read to me every night. We're going to discuss. He's got them starting with Moby Dick. I thought they were going to be reading boat making books. But so anyway, that was interesting to me, fascinating to me. And also Easy encounters a character who's studying calculus or something, and he's like kind of fascinated by that. And we've seen Easy learn to read in the series. Now we watch an Underground, and I look at people's reviews and stuff and listen to people's comments, and people are like, do they know how to read? Does this person know how to read? And it just occurred to me all of a sudden that learning to read, I don't know, because I did it as a child, but how long would it really take someone to learn to read? A week, a month, 6 months? I don't know. It's probably in my head, I'm like, either you know how to read or you don't know how to read. But people learn how to read, all the time. So, but I think we've seen Easy Rawlings' character, if I remember correctly, when we first met him, he wasn't literate. And if he was literate, he was not a reader, but he is a reader and a student now. And then also, I just want to say about Easy Rawlings' character, I don't really think I had that much to say. I'm just looking at my notes. Is that even though he is problematic in some ways, and I think I definitely have like this underlying issue with him, Easy Rawlings, and maybe with Walter Mosley with regard to women. It's like just this tingling of something that I can't quite put my fingers on. And I was ready to be mad at Easy Rawlings and stop reading his books a couple books back. And then his wife was like, kind of got on him in a certain way. And I was like, oh. But somebody was like, why does every woman character, have to come be rated on her attractiveness? And there's kind of like this low grade thing I have with Easy Rawlings in terms of his relationship with women that I can't quite put my fingers on. Maybe because it's shifting and changing as he grows and develops as a human being. I'm not really sure. But, I do like that he is attracted to a wide range of women. So even if he is coming at every woman through the lens of attractiveness or fuckability, he seems to have a wide range of, who fits in that category. So I appreciate that. But also I appreciate, it's kind of like we know him internally and we know him from the inside from the books. And so it's not just his actions that we know him from. And so, you know him and appreciate him in a different way than if you just saw how he behaved. And he might be out here on these streets drinking and behaving in some ways that maybe I wouldn't appreciate. I'm not sure, because I just am so drawn into his internal life. And then when I think of actions, I think of him adopting Feather and adopting and raising Jesus, and how he handled Jesus saying he wanted to drop out of school, and how thoughtful he was about it and reflective, and I just really appreciate how he handled it. So that's what I got. I love him as a dad. That's what I got, except for I have a few quotes from the book. Walter Mosley's writing to me and his characters, I just really love his characters, and I just love some of the things that they say and think. And I could probably just read the whole book, but these are just 4 things that I happen to write down, not because they're the best 4 things I encountered. I felt like some ancient nomad who could depend on his woman to fight at his side tooth and nail against the wild. Okay. FedEx, girl, you ain't get on FedEx? Okay. Jackson grinned. White teeth against black skin always had a soothing effect on me. It made me happy. I'm not doing it justice. I need to study it and learn it so that I can really fully deliver it to you in the beauty that it appears in my head when I read it. They don't want you to know that you can sit in your room and discover things all by yourself that nobody else knows. Okay, here's another one. Jackson Blue's rendition of Isaac Newton reminded me of me, a man living in shadows in almost every part of his life. A man who keeps secrets and harbors passions that could get him killed if he let them out into the world. So with that, that's what I got. Walter Mosley. I love Walter Mosley. Do you love Walter Mosley? Read Walter Mosley. Read Easy Rawlins. Read Bad Boy Brawly Brown. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. Yoo-hoo. Bye.